Okay, I've already typed out my commands here in the editor window. And in the first version of it, let's look at what I'm doing. First, I create an object, dep.table, and it's the table command run on depression dollar hospital and depression dollar treat. And notice that because these vectors, hospital and treat, are inside the data frame depression, it's necessary for me to have depression $ here and here. Okay, and remember that this command by itself, let's just run that command by itself. And you run a command by itself by clicking on, putting the cursor in the command and clicking on run. And notice that I get the typical reaction, nothing happened. And again, I'll repeat this many times, that creating something in R does not automatically display it. So now we have our cursor down on the next line, and that just says, here's the name of the object, dep$tbl, and we click on run, and when we enter something's name at the command line, we get a display of it. Now, it's not really very well documented what you've got here. You have to kind of interpret this knowing what the data looked like, that there were 3 different treatments labeled 0, 1, and 2, so the columns are treatments, and there are 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, 5 hospitals with numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. So rows are hospitals and columns are treatments. Okay, now let's do, well, you can look at these things, and I don't know how good you are at interpreting numbers, but let's look at the plot of it using a mosaic plot. And we'll run the mosaic plot on dep$table. Okay, and we'll just run that. And now I think it's kind of more obvious what has happened here. When you look at the graphical output, you can see who got the lion's share of the cases. Well, it was hospital number 5. And hospital number 6 is kind of the runner-up in the total number of cases, because you can see that in the width of these bars. And you can also see that hospitals 5 and 6 tended to distribute their cases evenly among the 3 different treatment types. Whereas hospital 3, if you notice that, almost cut way back on treatment number 1, and hospital number 2 expanded on treatment number 1, and then here's hospital number 1. Okay, so that's what you see when you look at this kind of data. And I also want to point out something else over here. I've got a second version of these, creating the table rather than creating the plot rather than creating the tables and intermediate output. And up here in the first version, I created the object dep$table and then ran the mosaic plot on the object dep$table. You can actually collapse all of that into one command. And the problem is that this is harder to read. And what you do here, it says you're taking the mosaic plot of something. The something is included between this parentheses and this parentheses. And the thing that's inside those parentheses is the command table of depression dollar hospital, comma depression dollar treat. Now that having to read things from the inside out gets very difficult. So you can make your code more readable by creating objects that you don't really need to sort of give your eyes some ability to follow what's going on in the code. Okay?